There are some phone calls you wish you'd never get. Doreen got one from her dad. Beatrice got one from her mom.
My dad called me from the hospital that Mama had a stroke. I think, yeah, there is a shock. You have no idea what that means until you go to the hospital.
Got a phone call telling me that my mom was in the hospital in Rain, Louisiana, and they didn't know what was wrong with her. She was running a high temperature. So I called the hospital and spoke with her doctor, and they were concerned because they couldn't figure out what was wrong. They were running different tests.
When I went home and had to take my mom to the emergency room, that was pretty heavy duty.
This podcast is about dealing with the medical and healthcare system. You know, hospitals can often be the first place in which we experience our parent in crisis. Amid the tubes and wires and medical machinery, our parent seems so frail. We are confronted with the world of doctors and nurses, operations, recovery, rehabilitation, decisions, insurance, and let's not forget emotions. Regardless of everyone's planning and care, many older people will experience a medical crisis. That includes a hospital stay. It might be obvious, but it's worth going over a few of the important things to plan for in advance of that event. First, your parent should have certain legal documents in place, including advance directives for care, also called a living will, and a durable power of attorney for health. The advance directives for care is a document that tells doctors and other medical personnel what medical procedures a person wants and doesn't want if they become incapacitated.
A healthcare directive is a document which sets down in writing with your signature, usually notarized or at least witnessed, what your wishes are if you are unable to speak for yourself, and your wishes include those things which you do and do not want to have done to you if you are in a place where you cannot communicate at all. Such things as whether you want tube feedings, resuscitation, intravenous medication or other feedings. Anything that involves doctors or family members making decisions for you about things which are very important.
The durable power of attorney for health allows someone else to make decisions for a person, following his or her other wishes and guidelines in the event of incapacitation. Health insurance is important in a world of escalating healthcare costs. Obviously, your parents' health insurance should be in place before a medical crisis hits to avoid the financial impact of expensive medical bills. And it's a good idea for your parent to have the names and numbers of friends or relatives to call in case of emergency. This is important so that you, the caregiver, and your parent's support network can quickly rally to assist your parent in a medical crisis. As we said at the top of this podcast, these are the obvious things to keep in mind so that everyone is ready when a medical event rears its scary head, and it will. You don't need me to tell you that our healthcare system is highly specialized. In the hospital, your parent may have many different doctors attending their care, as well as physician assistants, nurse practitioners, nurses, therapists, social workers, psychologists, discharge planners, and more. It can all be rather overwhelming. Linda Redford, director of the National Long-Term Care and Policy Resource Center at the University of Kansas, says get involved and ask lots of questions.
Probably the best piece of advice I can give you is to not to be afraid to ask questions. And even if you think the question sounds dumb, ask it. Because if you don't, you're not going to get full information, and you may not understand the information. If you don't understand what's being told to you, tell them you don't understand what they're saying. That's perfectly fine. Doctors, nurses, we all tend to talk often in medicalese, and we often forget that people don't understand the terms we're using. And sometimes we neglect to tell people what those terms really mean and also what the anticipated outcome is. You may get the diagnosis, you may know what's wrong, but you may not have a clue what the medical profession is really thinking about how much better your parent's going to get.
As you deal with medical professionals, remember they don't always know all the answers. Don't be afraid to get a second opinion. And if a particular doctor doesn't seem right for you and your parent, if they won't listen to you or answer your questions, leave them and get another doctor. Another important thing to remember as your parent is being treated for their illness or accident is that in today's healthcare system, your parent will probably be discharged from the hospital before they have fully recuperated. This means they will either need some assistance at home for a while, or they're going to need to go someplace where they can get continued skilled nursing care. The discharge planner at the hospital can help you make arrangements for the services and assistance your parent might need. This program was produced by agingparents.com, which is solely responsible for its contents.
Thank you for watching our video on help with elders. If you need more help with your elders, feel free to visit our website at agingparents.com. To watch more helpful videos, click here to subscribe or watch another video. Also, check us out on Facebook or on Twitter. Thanks again for watching.